Why do you keep falling for people who can't fully show up for you? At first, they seem different, mysterious, independent, hard to read. There's something about them that feels intense, magnetic, almost addictive. And for a while, it works. The chemistry is strong, the conversations are deep, the connection feels special. But slowly, something shifts. They pull back. They avoid serious conversations. They struggle to define the relationship. They say they just need space or they're not ready for something serious. And somehow, you end up wanting them even more. If this pattern feels familiar, it's not random, and it's not because you're unlucky. There are psychological reasons why emotionally unavailable people feel so attractive. First, let's define what emotional unavailability actually is. It's not just someone who doesn't text back quickly, it's someone who struggles with vulnerability, commitment, or emotional consistency. They may crave connection but fear dependence. They may enjoy intimacy but withdraw when things get serious. Now here's the uncomfortable part. If you keep attracting or choosing emotionally unavailable partners, it may connect to your attachment style. Attachment styles form early in life. They shape how safe closeness feels to you. If you grew up in an environment where love felt inconsistent, unpredictable, or conditional, your nervous system may have learned that intensity equals connection. Emotionally unavailable people create intensity. They are unpredictable, and unpredictability creates dopamine. Dopamine doesn't just respond to pleasure, it responds to uncertainty. When you don't know where you stand, your brain stays alert, focused, engaged. So when someone is hot and cold, your brain doesn't see danger first. It sees reward potential. The moments they show affection feel amplified. The validation feels earned. The attention feels rare, and rare feels valuable. This is where something called intermittent reinforcement begins to take over. Intermittent reinforcement is one of the strongest psychological bonding mechanisms in human behavior. It's the same pattern that makes gambling addictive. When rewards are unpredictable, the brain works harder. If someone gives you affection consistently, your nervous system relaxes. But if someone gives you affection inconsistently, warm one day, distant the next, your brain becomes obsessed with earning the next reward. You start analyzing more, trying harder, showing up better, because every small moment of closeness feels amplified. The rare text, the unexpected vulnerability, the sudden deep conversation. It feels meaningful because it's not guaranteed. And that unpredictability creates a dopamine loop, not love activation, not safety stimulation. This is why emotionally available people can feel strangely underwhelming at first. They text back consistently. They communicate clearly. They don't disappear. There's no dramatic tension, no guessing game. And if your nervous system is used to intensity, stability can feel boring. But boring isn't the same as unhealthy, and intensity isn't the same as compatibility. Sometimes what you call chemistry is just anxiety mixed with attraction. Your body feels activated, so you interpret it as passion. But activation and safety are two very different sensations. There's also a deeper layer. If you grew up chasing emotional consistency from a parent who was distant, critical, or unpredictable, your brain may still be trying to complete that unfinished story. You're not just attracted to them, you're trying to win something you didn't get before. And when they pull away, it doesn't just hurt in the present, it reactivates something old, something unresolved. That's why it feels so hard to let go. It's not just about them, it's about what they represent. You may mistake emotional distance for depth. You may interpret mystery as emotional complexity. You may see their withdrawal as something to solve. Because if you can get someone who doesn't open up to you, it feels like winning. But here's the truth. Emotionally unavailable people often feel safe to you if you fear vulnerability too. That sounds contradictory, but it isn't. If deep intimacy feels overwhelming to you on some level, Choosing someone who can't fully commit protects you from going all the way in. You can desire closeness without fully risking it. There's always a built-in barrier. Another factor is self-worth. If you subconsciously believe love has to be earned, you'll feel more drawn to someone who doesn't give it freely. When affection is inconsistent, you try harder, you analyze more, you invest more, and effort creates attachment. The more you work for someone's attention, the more valuable they seem. But stable, emotionally available people may initially feel boring, predictable, calm. There's no chase, no dramatic pullback, no emotional roller coaster. And if your nervous system is used to chaos, calm can feel unfamiliar. Unfamiliar can feel unsafe. So you gravitate toward what feels intense, even if it's unhealthy. There's also the rescue instinct. You see their wounds, their guarded behavior, their emotional walls, and you think, if I love them enough, they'll open up. You don't fall for who they are, you fall for who they could be. But potential is not the same as capacity. Someone can have depth and still lack emotional availability. Someone can have trauma and still not be ready for partnership. And no amount of love from you can create readiness in someone else. The pattern continues because each experience reinforces the belief, if I try harder next time, it'll work. But emotionally unavailable partners often follow similar scripts. They move fast in the beginning. They create strong chemistry. They bond through intensity. Then when stability approaches, they retreat. And your nervous system interprets that retreat as a threat. So you chase, not because you're desperate, but because your brain wants resolution. Resolution feels like safety. Here's the shift. You don't need to change who you're attracted to. You need to notice what you interpret as attraction. Is it emotional safety, or is it emotional unpredictability? Is it depth, or is it distance? Emotionally available love feels consistent. It feels calm. It feels steady. It doesn't spike your adrenaline. It doesn't leave you questioning where you stand. It doesn't make you work for basic reassurance. If you keep falling for emotionally unavailable people, it doesn't mean you're broken. It may mean your nervous system is wired toward familiarity, and familiarity isn't always healthy. Your system chooses what it recognizes, not what is good for you. But recognition can change. The next time you feel intense attraction, pause. Ask yourself, do I feel safe, or do I feel activated? Safe feels steady. Activated feels urgent. Urgency is not the same as love. Chemistry is not the same as compatibility. Intensity is not the same as intimacy. You deserve someone who can stay when things get real. Someone who doesn't disappear when you express needs. Someone who doesn't treat emotional closeness as pressure. Breaking this pattern starts with awareness, not blame, not shame, just awareness. Because once you see the pattern clearly, it stops feeling like fate and starts feeling like a choice. And when it becomes a choice, you can choose differently. If this resonated, subscribe. In the next video, we'll talk about why you might push people away right when things start getting close, and what that says about your attachment style. Bye.